Hello, sisters of Deep Earth Singing Moon. I am in my tiny temple at the bottom of my garden, my shed, my studio, my she shed, tiny temple, to bring you the full moon reading. It's April 11th, 2017. So full moon reading for you for this month, for this cycle, and it's rather cold here, so I'm a bit sniffy and a bit shivery. That's why. Sorry, just I'm also on my mobile, so picture may be a bit jittery. I did just post a photo of the cards in our group, but if you're not in the group, or if you haven't seen that and you're just coming straight in on the video, here is card 1. I'm using the Moon Phases Oracle for a change, because of what I had to hand. 2. And 3. Okay. So tuning in, and I'm going to dive straight in. Now the light in here is really poor. I'm going to just try and see if I can show you the card. Sorry, this is really rubbish. There's a card gun. There it is. So, as you can see, it's kind of like a dark moon image, and the word at the bottom says intentions. Full moons are really really good time for calling in. Like, everybody always thinks of like new moon for new beginnings and new stuff, which is great. But the power in full moon is in that fullness, is bringing that strength of light, of power, of energy to our wishes, to our dreams, to our intentions. So what are your intentions in this full moon period that we're in? Bearing in mind that we're in Mercury retrograde. I think there's some other retrogrades going on, but the one that's most familiar to me is the Mercury one. And when we're in Mercury retrograde, putting aside the sort of, superstitious sort of stuff about, communications and electronics and stuff, but when we think about it in energetic terms, it's usually an opportunity to revisit something, perhaps. It's a chance to review before you move forwards again. So maybe this is about intentions that maybe you had a while ago, but you've kind of dropped, you've let go of, you've forgotten about, left behind. Well, maybe here's an opportunity to find them. Sorry, my hair's in my way. To refind, remember, revisit. And see how you might move them forwards again in a little while. Card 2. Okay. I've got a bird there carrying a small rodent, and it says Hunger Moon. The Hunger Moon, in moon terms, is one of the winter moons. The one in the deepest part of winter, when supplies are running scarce, and spring hasn't come, the new crop hasn't come yet. So what have we got here? My instant, like what I got just then as I was saying that to you, is taking what you can get. So I think if you've chosen card 2, maybe things are feeling a little thin, a little stretched, hungry in some way. It might be literal hunger, but it may be to do with business, to do with work, money, and perhaps you are kind of scrabbling to feed that need, feed that hunger, but doing so in a way that perhaps isn't quite in alignment. So like, I've done this, I do it a lot, things get a bit thin, I get a bit panicky about money, so I kind of start like looking for ways that I can bring some money in, but it's not always in alignment with like my soul, with like the work I really want to be doing. And so what tends to happen is it'll bring a bit in, but like it won't ever quite take off, it won't ever quite fill the gap in the way that I need it to, because it's not in alignment. So it's always just that kind of scrape, that scrabble. So take this moon as an opportunity to feel your hunger, but to fill it, to appease it. What's the word? I can't think. It's quite late at night now. Fill the gap with something nourishing. Fill it with something that feels in alignment to you, rather than it being about something that you're doing it just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. Don't fall into the trap of doing stuff just because you're hungry. Try and stay in alignment, and somehow in the the longer view of life, really, for yourself. I hope that made sense. One felt a bit disjointed. I kind of knew what I meant, but I don't know if I quite got the words out, but hopefully it'll resonate or click for you. Okay, last card. Oh, nice one. I don't know if you can you see just a little wolf head popping up on the moon there. Wolf moon. And again, in moony terms, wolf moon is it's one of the winter ones. I think around about February, because that's when wolves mate. But for us, for this reading, for this full moon, in some respects it's not a dissimilar message to the last one. It's we refer to howling, wolf howling, as wolf song, pack song, and that they howl to the moon, they sing to the moon. So and it like what I'm hearing is soul song. Like, what's your soul song? Like, what do you need to be singing to the moon? What do you need to call for from this moon? Perhaps even who do you need to call for? Do you need to call your pack, family, lover? Who or what are you calling with your soul song under this full moon? Nice one. Nice one. So yeah, some interesting messages there, my sisters. I hope there was something in there for you, and I hope you can see me and hear me. It's all a bit fuzzy in here. So my blessings to you this night of the full moon from my tiny temple under the apple tree in Birmingham, with very much love. Good night.